pretend. Whoa. Hey everyone, this is Living Dead Gal, and welcome back to another Sims 4 realistic Townie makeover. Today we are doing Eliza Pancakes. So I was not super nervous necessarily for Eliza. I was really nervous for Bob, but after doing Bob's makeover, and you guys were like so supportive and so kind in the comments, I feel pretty good. I felt pretty good going into Eliza's makeover, and I'm actually really happy with the decisions that I made and how she ends up turning out. So, to kind of get started with Eliza, I don't normally do this. I don't like to drag how the Townies look in the game because I know that there's still somebody there, you know, whether they work on Maxis or not, you know, it's still a person who made a sim, and I don't like to knock other people's sims. However, they tried with what they were given in base game, but I mean, the way that Eliza is dressed completely just doesn't match her personality. And I'm not saying that your personality traits necessarily dictate your style, but when you're playing a simulation game, that's kind of how you go, right? You kind of dress them in ways that you think reflect and express their traits. So my issue with the way that Eliza is dressed is that she's kind of sloppy, guys. Her clothing is just not, she doesn't look very put together. I mean, she's got the baggy capri jeans with the Walmart flip-flops and the tank top, and nothing against Walmart flip-flops. I have Walmart flip-flops, but it doesn't make sense for her personality because she is actually, her aspiration is that she is mansion baron, and that gives her a bonus trait of being business savvy. She is neat, a perfectionist, and she's materialistic. So the way she looks really doesn't coincide with the materialistic aspect to me. It doesn't really go with the fact that she's mansion baron and business savvy, and even just being a neat perfectionist. I feel like she should look more put together. So I think, you know, Eliza gets a bad rap. She kind of is I think a lot of people view her almost similar to the let me speak to your manager or the Karen type of stereotype, which I feel really bad for people named Karen who are nice people. I have a lovely friend named Karen, and I feel so bad that that is the name that is chosen for this stereotype of Karen now. But anyway, originally I was thinking going into it, okay, that's what I'll do for Eliza, is kind of make her look, you know, more like that type of way. But as I was reading her bio online on the Sims 4 wiki and her traits and everything, I was no, Eliza should be a lot more stoic and prim and proper and neat and put together, because the whole thing is her and Bob are kind of opposites. Bob is more of he's a slob, he's gloomy, and he's a loner. And it's not that their traits are all completely opposite, but she's just a very put together person based on her traits. So I feel her look should reflect that. So in picking out her hair, I had actually found an alpha hair that was so close to what her base game hair is, but I found this one by Aid, which is, or I hope I'm saying that right, it's either Aid or Ade. They're one of my favorite CC hair creators. They just have such amazing textures, and I thought this hair was so cool because it's, number one, the texture is amazing, but it's so straight and it's behind her ears, and it's perfect. She gets up every morning and just makes it stick straight. And I don't know, that just kind of that seemed the perfect prim and proper, you know, gets out of bed and makes sure that everything is perfect kind of look for her. I gave her the French manicure, I gave her her little diamond engagement ring, and I was she needs some designer clothes. She's materialistic. So I don't know, I normally and I don't know why I went such a rant about this, but normally when I make over these Townies, with the exception of Vlad, I try to keep their you know, the essence of the character. And even with Vlad, I did try to keep the essence of his character based on the storyline and the lore that I felt worked for him. But, you know, most of the time I do really try to keep the essence and not change a lot. And so I didn't change anything about her physical appearance as far as her face shape, her body shape. You know, obviously I tweak the eyebrows because you have to kind of do that when you're giving them different eyebrows. But I didn't change like any of her physical assets, but just her appearance. There was like nothing that I found in the original Maxis look that I really felt that I could carry over. It just didn't fit. And even though she has like a lot of green in her Maxis look, so I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll give her some outfits that have a little bit more green to them. But honestly, she just ended up with the red hair. It just looked too much like Christmas to me, and I wasn't feeling it. So I didn't really give her a lot of green, because with the way I had styled her with her skin details and her hair, and you'll see I've actually got the version of Bob that I made over in here because I kind of wanted to find ways to have them complement each other. But anyway, with the way that I had like styled her, the green just wasn't working. Even though she has green eyes, the choice of outfits that I was picking for her and trying to pull that color just weren't going with her eyes. So I ended up doing a lot of like black and white for her, which I know that I do that for a lot of my Sims. It's kind of like my comfort zone. Like I always kind of default and go for like the black piece of clothing. That's kind of how I am when I dress. Like I still have a closet full of lots of colors, but like usually if I like something and it's not in a pattern, I'm typically gonna go for the color black of it. So I end up kind of doing that with my Sims a little bit more often than I'd like, and I'm trying to branch out. But for Eliza, I don't know, there was just so much black and white stuff that kind of fit that like designer and prim and proper and like has a neat house and is mansion baron kind of vibe. So I was kind of like thinking of her almost as like, not really like a Stepford wife, that's not really the right word, but like just kind of like a housewife who like really she wants money, she wants a lot more. And I think maybe the reason that her and Bob fight is that, you know, he is employed, he's a caterer, but he's not, it doesn't seem like from his traits that he's necessarily an ambitious guy. And for her, it feels like she should be ambitious because she's a perfectionist. She wants to live in a mansion, you know, she's business savvy, but she is unemployed. And so I feel like maybe she's kind of dissatisfied with her life, and maybe her and Bob, maybe opposites attract, maybe they fell in love, but, you know, and they thought having different aspirations and different goals in life didn't matter, but maybe they faced some hardship when they actually, you know, started living together. I don't really know like how their romance started, and I'm sure there's like more lore on it than I've read, but I could just see that like maybe they had a whirlwind romance and they got together really quickly and they didn't really think about like their values and what they wanted out of life, and that posed some challenges for their marriage down the line. So anyway, that was kind of like what I was going with as I was thinking about this. And I don't know, when I was doing her makeover, I really did want to kind of be cognizant of what I had done for Bob and like how the two would flow together. More so even than like I've done with any of the other families that I've made over. I think because this is the first couple I think that I made over, other than Daryl and Amelia from Glimmerbrook. But with them, that one I kind of thought about them a little bit back and forth, but that one I don't know as much about their relationship. They're not as iconic as like Bob and Eliza, so it was just something that I wanted to make sure I kind of had Bob in mind. So even like for her sleepwear, I've already passed it at this point, but I gave her like the red robe that it's, you know, I was like, her and Bob should have little matching sleepwear because that's cute, even though they sleep in separate bedrooms. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe whatever love was there, they could fix it and find a way to get back together. You know, because I'm a little bit of a hopeless romantic in that sense. I mean, I don't know though. I know a lot of people think Eliza's toxic and Bob needs to get away from her. Some people hate on Bob and like Eliza. I don't know. I hope that the two of them can work it out. So we'll see. I mean, they have Iggy now, who was added to the gallery later. So I am going to give Iggy a makeover next. And all of these townies are going to go into a realistic save file, and I may or may not, depending on kind of what I'm doing with the channel at the time, and I have so many townies to make over, but I would love to do some rotational gameplay, and that might be something I do in my personal time. Maybe I give you guys some updates, or maybe I do it for the channel. I don't really know, it's just kind of an idea in my head. As I'm working on these townies, especially now that I'm kind of moving to some of the more iconic ones, the more well-known and loved ones, I'm really itching to play with them. I'm really itching to kind of get in the game because I've really been reading about them and their stories and their traits, and it's been making me think about their backgrounds and their personalities, and I kind of just want to see like what happens in their lives and kind of like, you know, be a fly on the wall observing them. So anyway, I am kind of rambling about nonsense. I'm just in a really like inspired, rambly mood right now. But I am going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I hope that you guys like Eliza. I hope that you understand the direction that I kind of went for her. Again, I tried to keep like some of her essence. Like obviously I kept her glasses. I kept like all of the sort of physical appearance aspects that, you know, kind of go with her. I didn't change any of her bone structure, but I did really revamp her style significantly. So I hope you guys like that. I hope that that makes sense to you. Please do leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this, please do remember to give the video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and, you know, join this little Sims community here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
That we shouldn't keep it up like this. We hurt each other's feelings on and on.